Hey there everyone, it's Tony from Tony Marie's Creations, and I wanted to come to you today to show you a quick little project that I've been working on, although it's something I should have had done a couple of weeks ago, but being the procrastinator that I am, yeah, it's normal. I don't ever really have I have good intentions, but my timing always just seems to be lacking. But the project I wanted to show you today is working with our New Horizons 6x6 Designer Series paper. And I'm going to be using actually a little bit of the stamp set that goes along with this called On the Horizon. The only thing I'm really going to be using today is just this stamp that's got the seagulls or flying birds on it. So just a little bit of a stamp being used from that. But the primary focus is going to be this DSP. I am using another stamp set, so let me show you that too. This is In the Moment, which is probably one of my favorites. I tend to not always select stamp sets that require a lot of coloring, because honestly I have to be in the mood to color, and sometimes, and again, being a procrastinator, I always am running around last minute, and that doesn't lend well with an image that needs to be colored. So but I do love these images, and I think they are representative of a lot of different things that that we can be doing or should be doing to help us de-stress and relax. So I'm going to be using this stamp set as well. But the paper is really what I wanted to focus on here. This paper is absolutely stunning. It's got a number of paper or images that can be used as backdrops or settings for scenes. So I'm just going to go through these a little quickly here, try to show them all to you. So they're very much a watercolor focused design. As you see, this can look like the water with a little bit of trees in the background, and then this beautiful sky. But just my favorite so far of the new Designer Series paper that's in the mini catalog, which, by the way, if you don't have your own copy of the mini catalog and you don't have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to send you out your own copy. Just put a note or message me through my Facebook page, and I'm happy to get one out to you. But these are just I mean, to me, they're just amazing with the design of them. This one is really, really pretty. It looks like a kind of a mountain range, or actually it could be like homes in the background and this beautiful sky. This could be a lake, as you see the reflection here of these images. But needless to say, I've ordered one pack initially, and I've since gone back and ordered several more, because there's so much I want to do with this paper. Okay, and then the back is, oops. The back is similar, but it's not so much a scene type of thing. It's just a watercolor wash of a lot of different colors in our color family. So there's a lot you can do using this as a, now that actually kind of looks like a meadow with the sky in the background, or at least that's what I'm seeing. This could be like a Rorschach test where everybody sees something a little bit differently, but that's the detail backing. And this uses a lot of different colors too. It's uses Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. So there's a wide range of our coordinating color that can go along with this Designer Series paper. So let me show you what I've been making. I've been using another demonstrator's pattern. Let me see if I have that info here with me. And I don't have her name on my notes, so I will have to come back and update the post with to give her credit. But actually, I did make a couple of adjustments to her design. So this was her, actually her little focus was a desk easel calendar. And I said I adjusted my sizing just a bit from what she did. So let me explain what that means. So the calendar itself is a piece of basic white. It's 7 inches by 6 1/4, and then on the 7-inch side, you're going to score it 3 1/2. So that gives you the body of your calendar, your easel. And then the base, I actually chose to use basic white thick cardstock because, you know, if you're trying to stand something up and if the paper's not strong enough, it just kind of flops around. It doesn't want to hold its shape. So I decided to cut mine out of the basic white thick cardstock. And the easel measures 6 1/4. So that's 6 1/4 by 4 3/4. And then you're going to score this on the 4 3/4 side. You're going to score it at 3/4 inches, 2 3/8, and then 4 inches. And then you're going to score that. So you're going to score the center is going to be a mountain score. And then these 2 3/4 inch strips are going to be valley folds. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. But this is what's going to hold the calendar for you. Okay, so mountain, valley folds. Okay, and we're going to set that piece aside. So her design, initially, she only used a piece of DSP, and then she added her images to it. What I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to get better use of the designer series paper, because her measurement was to cut the designer series paper at 6 3 1/4. Well, our paper, if this is 6 by 6, you're not going to get an even cut. So I adjusted it so I could cut my paper at 3, and then I cut down to 5 3/4. So for my project, what I'm using is a piece that's 3 inches by 5 3/4. And because it's slightly smaller than the measurement that she used, I decided to back it with a piece of coordinating designer series paper. So for this one, I'm using Fresh Freesia. And I'm only using it, I'm only giving 1/8 of an inch border around that. So my cardstock measures 3 1/8 inches by 5 7/8 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just attach this. I'll say it's just a tiny bit of a border here, but just really pulls out those beautiful purples in here, as you can see. And then I'm going to go ahead and just attach that to actually, you know what I needed to do, so let me back up here just a second, is I want to add some of these flying birds to my designer series paper. And as soon as I find what I did with my black ink pad, I'll be fine. So I'm just using the birds, check them first and make sure they're going in the right direction. So we don't want the birds to be flying all over the place. So I'm just going to put a few here and then a couple over here. Okay, and we're actually going to cover a little bit of this when we put everything together, but that's okay. You'll get the general idea. So now I can go ahead. Yes, I knew that was going to happen. Make sure you've got it going the right way. Now, you could add some embellishments. You could put some ribbon around. I wanted to have the bird showing here, so I didn't want to add anything else that was going to kind of distract from that. So I'm just going to leave that blank without any extra like ribbon embellishments. And then I had purchased these calendars, these 2022 calendars, some time ago, thinking I'd be ahead of the game, which is, again, if you know me as a procrastinator, it's kind of funny. But as I was cleaning some things up, I came across them. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to make these up and have them ready for the beginning of the year. And of course I did not. So I get mine from Tailored Expressions, and you get them in a pack of 10, and I don't remember off the top of my head how much they are, but they're pretty inexpensive. So I'm going to put some liquid glue on here, and I'm going to apply that to the bottom part of the front. Okay, so you see, you really only have a little bit of space over here to do anything with. And I mean, as pretty as this paper is, you could honestly just leave it as it is. But what I wanted to do was add one of the images from the In the Moment. And I love this one with her holding the wine glass. It kind of fits me personally. I do enjoy a glass of wine every once in a while. But as you notice, this is a little bit bigger than the room I have here. I had cut this out with this from the Layering Circle dies. It's the 2 5/8 inch circle. But what I want to do is I want to make this stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to do some fussy cutting around this. And somewhere I have misplaced my small detail scissors, so you bear with me. This is going to be a little bit clunky, but you'll get the idea. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut around her body image. So, and if you do fussy cutting, you know it's easier to turn your paper than it is to turn your scissors. I'm going right up to the line, pretty much on the outside of the image. And if I had thought about this, I could have had this done ahead of time, but this won't take very long to do. Get around her flowing hair here. And what I had done was I stamped several of the images from the stamp set just on some scrap pieces of our basic white cardstock. And just sat here one day, got all my blends out, and just started coloring. And ended up having quite a few of the images ready to go, which is always great when you're a procrastinator. We're almost done here, so thank you for bearing with me. Okay. All right. So now I can come in here and I'm going to mount this with some dimensionals, and it just fits in here perfectly. So I suggest putting the calendar on first. Well, actually, I guess you could go either way. It doesn't really matter. Or you could make your circle a little bit smaller and just go ahead with the full circle. But I just kind of liked how this was cut out, so it kind of gave you a little bit more of the image behind, or the image that the DSP is giving you there. So let me grab some of my dimensionals. And we will get this finished up pretty quickly. I'm going to come in and use my mini dimensionals. Sorry, I keep moving away from the mic here, so I apologize if the volume is going in and out. Okay, so I'm going to peel off all my backings. I have a trash can right under my work area, but you'd be surprised how much of this just absolutely misses the trash can and it's just all over my floor. So I'm going to just tuck this in right here. Now I just realized as I put this down, I didn't cut that little section out where her arm is, and that I can't really do with the scissors. When I've made previous versions of this, I actually used a one of these cutters and just very, very carefully went in around that image to pop that out. But this one is not going to have that, and that is fine. So we've got this part of it done, and now we're just going to come in and we're going to add the easel part. And you need to be careful with how you're applying this, because I actually did one and did it the wrong way. I had my folds going in opposite directions, so it didn't work. So when this is all done, it's going to look like this on the inside. So I'm going to apply first a bit of liquid glue. And again, just making sure that I am lining this all up correctly. Oh, of course, this is going to fight me now. So this is going to lay on the top. And with the liquid glue, I can come in and slide it in place so that it's even. You want it to be even with this bottom part of the easel. Okay, and I'm just going to come in with, not quite even there. Slide that a bit. I'm going to come in with my bone folder. And then this is going to be the back part. And same thing, I'm going to apply a little bit of liquid glue. And you can just kind of mash it all down there, because it's going to end up laying evenly because you've already scored that section there. And then just going to help it along here. And you've got your easel and your calendar. So this is going to be a nice, serene, calming image to look at your desk every day. And I have done a few more of these. So let me show you what I have completed. Now this was my very first one, and this was when I was going by the measurements of the original demonstrator. And I did add ribbon to this one, but I think it kind of interferes personally. I also, on this particular image, now this does take a lot of work. It took a fair amount of time to cut in around those window panes. And again, I definitely, this is what I used to do that, but I just think it looks so cool. It looks as if she's peering out the window and sees this beautiful sky out there while she's enjoying her cup of coffee or her cup of tea. So that was my first one, which I was called my prototype. And then I did a second one with the wine glass, and that's where I cut this out. And actually I did go in and do that little bit of detail cutting right there. But this one looks like she's peering out at a mountain range. And then here's another with the window with the detail cut out. And again, this beautiful background, it's just so stunning. And then the one that we just did here today. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, it was a very quick little project to do. The time part is, you know, sitting down and stamping these images and coloring them, which I kind of did, you know, in different steps. So I'll do that sometimes too if I'm just sitting and watching TV and, you know, just want something to do and I'm kind of just listening to the sound. So I'll color and cut and do things like that. But I hope you did enjoy the project. And again, I'll put in the details when I post this of who the demonstrator was that I got the original idea from, because I definitely want to give her credit for her wonderful idea. I look like I didn't put enough glue here or tape here on this one piece, but yeah, I'll have to go back and fix that. So anyway, thank you for following along and hanging in here with till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks.